Hi, folks. Just want to let you. Um, this is part three, step number three. We're about to on the document that we're preparing for the course with it, and I'm about to show you how to connect to um, the Microsoft Azure virtual desktop with it. Again, step one is a one-time setup only, and you have to do step two and three and four every time to access. I hope this becomes a routine that you can connect to and use the virtual network with it as well. With it, so it's going to be a daily, a weekly activity that you have to do this for the course with it. All right. Um, so let me scroll down to the section that I would like to talk to you about is the section number three, how to connect to the Microsoft Azure virtual desktop with it. I put on some notes here that will help you when you're working with virtual environment, how you log into some of this. So I call it some of the best practice. There are some, with it. So that works for me. But like I said, it works for you. More power. If you find out this is a nuisance, then don't use it with it. So that just works for me with it as well. The first thing is I need to tell you is that you need to keep your phone nearby. So when you log on to your MFA, you got to have your phone, your smartphone nearby with it as well. I know this is annoying. You might have to do this several times, putting in the password and approving things off of your phone with it. But hey, I didn't do this, so the higher gods made the decisions on some of this stuff with it. So we have to live with it. The second point is that it would be nice if you have like a notepad or a document that you save somewhere with your username and your password with it, somewhere in your local drive with it. Have your E7 again. The sample number that I call is E1234567 is the 1 through 7 is your student ID at student.dccccc.edu is the student user login that you will have to use to log into the eCampus. I'm sorry, log into the virtual desktop with it as well. You need to have that. This is the link that we're going to use in the browser. I'm going to come back to this in a second with it, okay? But the second thing is that before you are doing step number three, I highly recommend you to connect to the OneDrive before you connect to the virtual desktop. That way you would see both, you have your desktop, your local desktop that's connected to the OneDrive, and then inside your virtual desktop is connected to the OneDrive, and you would actually save files to it. That way, that's how you get files out of your virtual desktop with it. The other thing I want to talk to you about is so we're gonna make sure you're connected. So I'm gonna make sure I connected before I would log into my student ID with it. Please note that after a while that you'll be using the virtual desktop, don't confuse between your virtual desktop and your local desktop with it. Okay, when I call locals, that's the desktop that you're sitting with every day. So I highly recommend you changing your desktop to something else that's different than the virtual desktop. So put an image of some sort of landscape or something that you could recognize that's your local desktop with it. All right, so that's what I would do with it. So after a while, and if it's getting late at night, a lot of times you don't know which desktop you're using with it. The next bullet is, again, this is you're doing cutting edge technology. I mean, this technology I see evolve in the past 10-15 years. It's gotten a lot better with it, but it does have its glitch. It does have its problem. It does have its ups and its downs. And this summer, you're the first group that's going to be using the Microsoft Azure in the district with it. So this is the first summer class. I am basically the first group. I'm using this. So there will be times it will crash on you. There will be times that that it's going to stuck and freeze. Please be patient. One of the things I put on here is that get your work done early, all right, and get it done. So I wouldn't wait until the last minute. Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong with it, right? So let's say you think it's due at midnight and you're starting to work on this at 6 o'clock. And the virtual environment starts to crash, and every time you load all this stuff with this, well, again, help me out. I built in those extra days for you to actually get those homework in on time with it. So just once it's released, let's work on it, and we'll be done with it. Okay. So the scenario. So my dog ate my homework doesn't really count. Is my point with it. All right. So if you can help me with that. All right, let's get started. I'm going to help you. So just some key bullets I talked about here. I'd like for you to highlight this link right here for me. All right, the link in the second bullet right there. Copy it, and I'm going to open up a browser right now with it. Again, I'm going to use the incognito browser, which doesn't cache in the past stuff that I have with it. All right, that's what I tend to use. But you're welcome, because I have two accounts, and it just caches in the other ones with it. That's why I'm using the incognito with it as well. All right. So I'm going to open up the browser. Looks like this. And one of the things I want to point out is that I do have my OneDrive logged into right now with it by looking at over here. I know this is my login number, is my E7 is my login number with it. So I'd like for you to still use the same browser that you are using for your OneDrive. And if you want to click on a new tab, or for me, I'm going to do Control Shift P. It gives me the new tab in here as well with it. So it looks like this. I'm just going to drag this tab out here, so I'll keep everything in one place with it. I'm going to paste that link on that I just copied and hit enter. And I'll have my phone ready to go next to it. It's logging in, and this is what it looks like with it. All right. So once you're added to my course with it, you're connected. And I would like for you to come down here to the bottom part right here. All right. And of course, I already logged onto this thing. So let me log back out, sign out, and show you from start what it looks like with it. This is what it looks like. All right. Once you put that in there with it. So let me start over from scratch really quick with it. Again, this is the new tab that I have. I logged out with it. Let me just paste that. And it's still kind of caching me in with it. But technically, it should look like something. Let me sign out. It would look something like this with it. So you would come in, it would prompt for your user. You type in your E7 over here. You click on your E7 with it, and you type in your password, and it would give you a MFA, multi-factor authentication with it, right? So this is what it looks like right now with it. And I click on that, and I would actually use my password in here as well, right? Hold on, so I have my password on my notepad. I copy, sign in. Sorry. Hang on a second, I'm not copying right here. Okay, so I just have to copy and paste it over again with it. I just want to show you this with it. Besides your browser giving you this right here, and I want to make sure your phone, once you do your username and password with it, your phone's going to show up a message that says approve sign in with a question mark, and you tap it. All right, hang on. And that's it. It just goes in, and I hit approve. That's all. All right. And of course, I have facial ID in this thing, so and that's it. Once I type approved, I'm logged onto the browser. It looks like this. I like for you to focus on your section only. All right. If you come down here and you look at the bottom row right here, this bottom row where it says AZISDWS. This is for my class right here. This is for my class right here. AZISDWS. Again, please use this section. Don't use anybody else's software in there, or else I'll get in trouble and all that stuff with it. For our class, we're going to use, this is the visual code on here. If you hover over it, this is for the IMED 1416, 1316, the Web Design 1. This is for my Computer Science 24, COC 1436. And yeah, that's that one. And then we have our Android Studio IDE for our ARTV 2470 and 2471. These are the software with it, and of course Photoshop is used with my web design here as well. So you can click on this last icon over here. You can access, I'm going to have a separate video for each one of these things. The one that I like for you to go to is the last icon, is the AZISD desktop. If you click on it and you click on allow for me, please. And of course, this is where the password comes in. Paste your password one more time for me and hit submit. All right, and we'll log on to your virtual desktop. It looks exactly like this with it. Can you see how this is your desktop and what it looks like? There's a taskbar, a search, there's your start button. It's in the browser. So everything works exactly like you are on a desktop, so hence the name virtual desktop with it. Now, before we depart, I want to make sure you do something right with it. So I like for you to click on the start button. This is Windows 10. And you come up to OneDrive for me, click on OneDrive, and make sure you are logged on to OneDrive. This is what I logged onto. I set up as my student side of it. Remember in my last step 2 video, I created all these directory for classes in there with it, so that's what it looks like with it. Alright, so that's what you are logged onto by checking out this with it. So you can drag and drop files inside of your virtual desktop to here, and then when you log out of your virtual, or you can minimize this, you can go to your local drive and you can bring those files to your local drive as well. So that's how I would like for you to handle this thing with it as well. Alright, so following this video, I'm gonna create multiple different segments of video for different classes with it as well. So this concludes the connection to the Microsoft Azure virtual desktop. All right, that's it for me. All right, for this part, I have more videos coming for each of the software segments for each of the class.